is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?
Blowing out of the backfield, exploding down the sideline.
This is Hangin' with the Boys, presented by Wingstop, where flavor gets its wings. Now, your hosts, Nate Newton, Kurt Daniels, Jesse Holley, and Shannon Gross.
Yeah, baby. Meow, 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 meow. That black cat got a new meaning, baby. Meow, meow, meow. Man, thank you, Dallas Cowboys, for making that hellacious night game on the East Coast, which is better than the hellacious night game on the West Coast.
Yeah.
We got in bed about 5:30 this morning, and it's always a little bit easier to get out of bed and come to work when they win. All right, I have a question for you to lead off the show.
Lead off the show.
Go for it.
I want to know if this is okay, the way that I'm feeling right now.
Oh,
Nate, stop. Let me get it out of my mouth before you start doing this.
Yeah.
I am encouraged,
Okay.
but I'm a little concerned and discouraged. And let me tell you why, and then you tell me if I'm justified,
You're
if I'm
not just
okay.
going to enjoy this win. You're going to.
I am enjoying this win.
Okay.
But I am very encouraged because they did what we needed them to do and go up there and they beat an okay team. I don't think the Giants are a bad team. I think they're an okay team. I think they have more talent than what they're performing to. I think they'll get it together. Might be next year, but I don't think they're terrible. They did what they needed to do. They went on the road against the team. They had some mistakes early that could have killed them. They overcame those mistakes, which is why I'm encouraged because that could have gone south really fast, starting with Tony Pollard right out of the gate, Dak right out of the gate, and it's like, oh, God, here we go. It's seeming the scene of the crime. Here we go again. I'm encouraged because they overcame that, but I'm a little concerned and discouraged because I don't think they've put a complete game together, which is kind of encouraging because if they ever do, you see the potential of this team because they overcame all these negatives. I'm just kind of I'm still waiting to see what this team is. Is it the mistake-laden team and the penalties and the turnovers, or is it the team that actually can go score and finish the team off at the end of the game? Y'all help me with this because I'm torn. I'm happy. It's Victory Tuesday. I'm happy, but I got some concerns.
Well, there's got to be concerns because these putting themselves in the hole at 5 games now. I think they've started out. They've been behind in the second quarter, and you're getting ready to face some tough teams. You're not going to be facing the Giants and Dolphins and teams you can
Starting
come back
this week.
on. Yeah, so it's definitely a disturbing trend, but I think they have I would lean towards they have the talent to be encouraged. But whatever it is that gets these off to the slow starts, they got to figure that out.
Yeah. Jesse, are you worried? Does this anything about last night bother you? Obviously, the miscues, but
yeah, that's the biggest thing for me is the inconsistencies and the lack of attention to detail. And we hear Jason Garrett get up and week after week after week, execution. At some point in time, we have to stop hearing him use that as an excuse. And last night, I was in my Twitterverse at Mr. Fulton Long. I was defending Jason Garrett.
I noticed that you were all on board the Garrett bandwagon there.
Well,
it's because we ran into him in the hall on Friday when we left, and he felt obligated.
I'm a fair dude, and everyone wants to blame Jason Garrett for things that he should not get blamed for, right? Like, if you've talked to Jason Garrett in a private or public setting and you talk football with him, first thing he says about football is the ball, the ball, the ball. So I know that he coaches protect the ball. The first play of the game, Dak Prescott, Bethea was standing right there. Like, literally, he was I don't know if Dak tried to do some miracle. What was the movie where the guy shot the gun and the bullet curved?
Matrix?
Whatever that movie was. Wanted.
Yeah.
I don't know if Dak thought he was going to throw the ball and the ball was going to curve around Bethea for that slant, but Dak was so dead set on, he had made his mind up in the locker room. First play at the gate, I'm throwing the slant. And Bethea was sitting right there, and
He didn't move, did he?
it was self-defense. It was literally self-defense that he had to catch the football. That ain't on Jason Garrett.
Yeah.
Randall Cobb. That ain't on Jason Garrett. Protect the football. You know contact is coming. You know you're in a compromised position. Put the other hand on top of the football.
Mm-hmm.
I know they teach that. Sanjay Lal is a technician. Everything that he does is about the technical things of route running and protecting the football. Tony Pollard, catch the football. You would have hit your head on the goalpost on that screenplay. I know for a fact that they're teaching look the ball all the way into the catch. Mm-hmm. I know they are. So there's certain things that you can't put on Jason Garrett. That the player has to take some ownership to it. Mm-hmm. So each week we keep seeing this team shoot themselves in the foot and start slow. The great part about it is we've played teams who we just been flat out on the roster, top to bottom, we're better than. And last night was no different. Mm-hmm. There's only one guy on that giant roster that you can sit there and have a legitimate argument about, is he better than the guy opposite him as position?
26.
And that's Saquon. Mm-hmm. That's it. There's not another player that's it. So they were able to overcome that. But when good teams come around, it may not.
Nate, by the way, I like the way you color coordinated your shirt with your phone case. That's cute.
That's cute. And with your coat and tie and jacket. Yes, sir. I thought about you this morning.
Thank you.
Kind of had a visual. Boom, boom. What are y'all talking about?
Football. Welcome to the show.
Hi,
Nate
welcome
Newton.
to the show. Thank you for coming in.
Well, y'all want my thoughts?
Hanging with the
on
boys.
the Dallas Cowboys
Shannon,
and that great
Kurt
performance
Daniels.
last
We
night.
love your thoughts.
The Cowboys are on and popping.
Oh, we're on
Yes, they are.
thought-
70s
listen,
DJ here.
I thought about you last night.
Oh, and
okay.
popping.
I thought about Nate last night.
Yes, sir. And I
Because
thought about you too, Jesse. I love you.
You have to make a decision now.
What decision is that?
You have to make a decision on one side of the fence that you're going to stand on. Now,
the Cowboys
no,
side.
No. I'm not on the Cowboys side. I know. Trust me. You're on that fence, in that yard, in that house. I ain't worried about that.
And on the family portrait.
Yeah.
Little dude in the bottom over there at the corner.
But you and I fought all last week about offense or defense. But you and Kurt have been fighting for 2 years, 3 years about Ezekiel Elliott. And what do you feel about him and how he gets involved? So I'm watching the game last night. I'm like, man, the defense is playing really well. Boy, so is Ezekiel Elliott in this offense. So you got to pick a side of what side you're going to be on. What side you're going to advocate for.
I am a team player. And what is ever needed
All right,
at
y'all.
the time,
Listen,
Jesse?
I walked in the door, so I get paid. I'll see y'all later.
I'm just trying to be honest with you.
You know the best part of you joining the show, Jesse, is Nate is the best when he's fun Nate. When he's not trying to be hardcore XO football guy. He can actually have fun. That's the Nate I enjoy. So when you came on the show, Nate feels like he can let you talk the hardcore stuff, and then he can just be fun Nate.
That's right.
So make people mad at me.
Kind of, yeah.
No problem.
Fellas, this is who the Cowboys are. They just played barely enough above their competition last night to win that game. Thanks to the help of a defensive player, number 27.
Who's that?
Yeah, that's Jordan
That's your
Lewis.
pet cat. Meow, meow.
Yeah, he showed up on that field twice.
Yeah.
Black cat and the cat at the end of the game. Anyway, they're going to play just good enough to win, And God forbid that don't catch up with them like it did with the Jets. But when the talent rises, now we got to see can they overcome that, because they haven't. Mm-hmm. That's that. So I'm looking at the game just like y'all, like, wow, boy, the quick slant. He didn't see this guy. All right. All of a sudden we mistouched the kickoff return. Like, okay. So you sitting there saying, is this sleepwalking Cowboys? And all of a sudden the defense held. We went out, got a field goal. Defense held again. Our special teams did not show up. They could have cost us, between that and bad penalties, could have cost us the game. But they overcame that because our offense came out and just started sparking. So I'm going to take these wins as we get them, knowing that Minnesota is the next big thing.
You can't do that against Minnesota.
Yeah. I'm praying that we had that success that the team that just played against Minnesota the week before, because they broke a 91. They had some great passes. I'm hoping that our big playability, Jesse, offense, do what they need to do.
Yeah, I guess that's why I'm encouraged, is because if they wouldn't have had those penalties, they would have beat the brakes off of them. They would have just
they were only stopping themselves.
Yeah. So if you can somehow figure out how to put a complete game together where you're clicking on offense and defense, you're not shooting yourself in the foot with turnovers, with bad penalties. Like, if you can do that, I mean, this has the potential to be a dominant team. We just haven't seen them put, other than the Eagles, they had a pretty solid game against the Eagles. They hadn't put one completely together.
This is what made me laugh, because you're thinking, Jesse, we all think, we like, okay, what are we seeing? Even with the 10 penalties, 100-plus yards of penalties, if we would have just covered on kickoff and kept them on the 25 or less, twice they busted us down. Mm-hmm. Twice. Mm-hmm. They were out of the game both times. All of a sudden, hey, come this great kickoff return. I'm like, fellas, come on now. If you just cover, they can't go 70 yards on y'all. Just cover.
And that's the thing, and we're going to enjoy this victory, but the thing that concerns me, I look at situations. The Giants don't have a good offensive line. They have a superb back and Saquon Barkley.
Yes.
But I look at, if we turn the ball over in our territory against Minnesota like we did last night,
they're going to make you pay.
Dalvin Cook's getting in the end zone. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Like, and I could be wrong, but I don't think so. I think if you give them the ball on the 8-yard line, Dalvin Cook's walking in the end zone. I just think that they're going to figure out a. Yeah. And so now you're talking about being down 7 instead of being down 3. The whole mindset changes. I think if you make those mistakes that you made in those games, that other teams turn those things into more positive points on their end than a not quite ready Giants football team to do so. Mm-hmm. They're not ready. Minnesota's ready. The Patriots are ready. Teams like that are ready. The Rams will be. So I look at situations and scenarios, and you talk about that, Nate, the returns and all that kind of stuff. When you keep getting the ball in your plus territory, good teams are going to turn that stuff into points. And now you'll be fighting up that uphill battle again. But, you play who you play, and you do what you got to do, and they won.
Pat Shermer, for the second time in a season, thank you.
For not using Saquon.
It's only 2 gripes I got. Our special teams has to and should play better. Mm-hmm. But when you have a coach with a devastating
wait a minute. He was only averaging 2 yards a carry. We've talked before about not using Elliott because the running game ain't working. Their running game wasn't working.
I agree, Kurt. But his biggest play wasn't a running play. His biggest play was what? A screen. Right. You in today's NFL, it's nowhere in the world that you have an elite running back and come in on Monday morning or Tuesday morning or Friday morning saying they took him out of the game. How? Tell me how.
Well, they threw 6 passes to him, 1 for 65 yards. The other 5 gained 2.
It's called creativity. We killed his group over here for it. We fired several coaches for it.
Yeah.
Okay, Pat Shermer is an offensive mind. Give him to that kid with the 49ers. They don't deserve him. Don't even worry about it. Just give him to Shanahan with the 49ers.
Another thing that Pat Shermer that I thank him for as well, what terrible clock management play calling you put together before the half. I mean, you called 3 passing plays that netted you, I think, probably 0 yards, and then I don't know, why would you even call a route that would allow that to be an incompletion and or interception when you know the opposing team has 3 timeouts left and you get the ball at half? If nothing else, run this thing out, run some clock down, and just go into the half. Punt it away and go into the half. Because if they would have punted the ball away and Jason Guy got the ball on the 8-yard line with 20 seconds left, he'd have sat on the ball too, and we'd have went in the half. But you get an interception, it's returned 29 yards, and now they're like, we got 3 timeouts, and you give them points? Like, you just can't give points away. You gave points away. What a horrible job. And we usually see that from the other side on our side. What a horrible job by Pat Shurmur to go out there and call those plays and allow your quarterback to be put in that situation before the half and to give up 3 points. And to me, those were the defining moments of the game. You allowed them to score on Blake Jarwin's 40-something yard play. And 52 seconds.
Who?
It all happened.
Wait, who? Who scored?
Snakebite.
Against the Giants?
Yeah.
Who?
The giant killer. He's like the giant killer.
Oh, my goodness.
But 52 seconds. That scramble play, Blake Jarwin for a touchdown, and then you turn around and do what you did that, and they go down and get a field goal. That's a 10-point swing. They're up 1 now going into half when they shouldn't have been that.
What was their average starting position? The Giants, Kurt. See, this is what made it's so many things that the Cowboys did that wasn't sound, especially coming off a 15-day rest, and they still won. So if you clean up a handful of those things, and I'm talking about the penalties and the special teams play, and you're ready for Minnesota. You're ready. But if you don't, and you got to add the turnovers because wherever the ball goes, that's the most important thing. The turnovers, limit your penalties. They happen. Limit your penalties. But man, that field position, you just can't let good teams start on the 30 or the 35 or the 40. You got to keep them under there, man. What was the average?
Well, I don't know. Have the average. They had the one on the 8-yard line on Dallas. They started on their own 44, their own 48, twice on their own 48.
Wow.
Everything else was they had started on their 35. Everything else.
That's too good. You give the better teams in that league that type. You give them a first down already taken away. 25. It starts on the 25. You kick it deep. I got the ball on 25, but now I'm starting an extra 10 yards. That's one I don't even have to worry about. You just gave it to me on 35. Now I chunk play you for 15, and I'm at the 50. You ain't stopping me. Now my playbook is wide open, and you don't know if I'm gonna hit you over the top. I'm with you. The better teams. That's why I'm saying the Cowboys, and I'm telling you, the coaches got to be looking and say, "Hey, fellas, we cannot start here." We can't average start on the 35. And we cannot turn the ball over. And our special teams, have they helped us at all this year? They got to.
I don't think they've had a turnover or made a difference as far as coverage.
Either return the ball out to the 60, just give it to the 40 or the opponent. You have to, against the better teams in this league, you have to produce points, turnovers, impacted.
That hidden yardage. That hidden yardage you talk about.
Yes, sir.
That's hidden yardage at the end of the day. And you look up, and it's all about the field position. If I can give my team the best field position, now they don't have to go 70, right? They go 40 or 50 or 60. It may not sound like a lot right now, but when you look up and you go, man, 10 yards here, 20 yards here, 15 yards here, 12 yards here. At the end of the game, you look up, and there's 200 yards of hidden yardage that doesn't go on anyone's stat sheet. But that's 200 that I don't have to make up.
Yep.
Because on this one play, I got all this hidden yardage that people don't really talk about that much. But trust me, it affects the way you call plays. When you backed up, your play calling gets real, vanilla. I want to go with the short shot, try to break one. Because you always see when someone's backed up, what they always say, get a first down. If I get a first down, I get some breathing room because I'm not pinned up against the end zone. So if I don't have to start backed up or pinned up, now I'm able to do different things. I'm able to drop back. I'm able to do this, that, third. So you got to just be mindful of that hitting yards that most people don't talk about when it comes to the special teams play, where they just think, kick it off or punt it or do whatever you got to do. But that hitting yardage, man, those returns, pinning someone back. Because if you pin someone back, now they got to go 90. Now they got to go 80. And if they don't go that, then when they punt it to you, you get it on your 40, which means you're right there in plus territory after one chunk 15-yard play. So,
all right, let's take a quick break. I just want to know if I was justified in being
now we'll come back and celebrate the Cowboys.
We're going to celebrate this victory. We got our
I always been celebrating. Y'all can stop.
Most of our concerns out of the way. When we come back, we'll keep
most
the
of
seconds.
Your concerns.
You just stop. Just stop right now. You've got concerns about this team. You just said it. You got your Minnesota Vikings purple on at the beginning of the week.
Bruh.
You can't even celebrate this victory.
Bruh, I'm already turning the page. I'm just letting y'all know. Black and blue is coming,
You
baby.
get 24 hours, Nate. This is our 24 hours. We'll be back.
Black and blue, baby.
You're keeping it positive. Hanging with the boys.
The Cowboys Way, where Thanksgiving means spending the day with 100,000 of your closest family and friends to watch the game live. Where 16 Hall of Famers and 5 championships show us what success looks like. Where we're all defined by one single thing, the star. Where we as fans have the power to keep the tradition going. Bank of America is proud to be the official bank of the Dallas Cowboys and to support the quest of living life the Cowboys Way. What would you like the power to do? Bank of America.
Copyright 2019, Bank of America Corporation.
Hey, Cowboys fans, if you're thinking about attending a game this season, visit cowboystravel.com to book your travel package today. Stay at the team hotel, have dinner with a Cowboys legend, and experience AT&T Stadium's exclusive VIP Owners Club. Also, tour the Star, get autographs from your favorite players, and talk X's and O's with me, Mickey Spagnola. The official travel partner of the Dallas Cowboys will take care of all your travel needs. Visit cowboystravel.com.
Ready? Okay. Give me an S. S. Give me an O. O. Give me an S. S. Give me an O. O. What's that spell?
So.
Are we gonna win?
Not if we play like we cheered.
Just okay is not okay. Whether it's cheerleaders or your wireless network, AT&T is America's best wireless network. Best network based on GWS One score September 2019.
So, you're shopping, and that's when you see it. Aisle 23. Dr. Pepper stacked from top to bottom as far as the eye can see. The phrase too good to be true comes to mind, yet there it is. A rich, delicious Dr. Pepper paradise. Wait, did that can of Dr. Pepper just open itself for you? They all are. As if to say, so nice to treat you. And even though it feels weird to talk to a can, you pick one up and say, it's so nice to be treated. Dr. Pepper, so nice to treat you.
Back to Hanging with the Boys.
Back. Kurt, you want to take this one? Or?
Sure. Tailgating can be sweaty work. The unloading, the grilling, the games.
Cornhole!
Make sure your tail remains sweat-free with Tommy John, the breathable, moisture-wicking underwear that keeps you 2 to 3 times cooler than regular cotton. Shop exclusive Cowboys underwear at TommyJohn.com/Cowboys for 20% off your first order.
There you go.
There you go.
All right. Oh, before we start the next segment, we had a few listeners that were at the game.
Hey,
Hollered at me.
What's your name? What's your name? James?
Costas that calls in. Costas from New York. G from New York that calls in. And then we had a couple of other, I can't remember their names, a gentleman from Arizona and then another guy.
How many wins do we have on the year?
How many what?
Wins. Do we have
5.
How many points we scored in those wins per game? Per
Average about
30.
27, 30.
No, in the wins. In the wins.
And the wins over 30.
Speaking of.
A Disney character told me that. Never mind.
Speaking of, the total points scored yesterday were 55. Guess who on this show guessed the total points at 55?
Really?
That was you?
It was me.
Nice.
I had the closest score. 31-24 is what I called it. It was 37-18. Kyle was kind of close, 27-24. Jesse was close, 24-17.
You didn't get my score.
Because you weren't here.
It was 37-18.
Yeah. You should have texted that in so we could verify that.
30 points a game or more is what the Cowboys need, man. They got to
win.
Yeah.
I tell you what. What'd you think about that play that Antoine Woods ran down Daniel Jones from behind? Wasn't late to that play, was he? Huh? Hey. No. All right.
That's how you earn more playing time.
There you go. All right. So we got our concerns out of the way. What were your big positives in this game, Kurt? What are the good things you felt good about in this game?
The biggest, I thought, was the defensive line. I mean, like Nate was talking about last week, Bennett really made a difference. He forced the action. 4 quarterback hits, I think it was, a sack. I mean, he was a difference maker in there. And
tackle for loss.
Yeah, and whether it was because of him or whatever, Lawrence, just like he did against Philadelphia, he looked like he had another level he was playing at. So they put pressure on him all night. 5 sacks overall. It was a good effort.
He had absolutely no desire whatsoever to even attempt to speak to the media after the game.
Really?
Everybody was crowded around his locker. He got ready with his back, packed all his stuff up, turned around. Mike Fisher tried to ask him a question. He just walked right on past him, said, I'll get y'all next week. No desire. Didn't want any part of that. Interesting. What were your positive, Jesse?
Sean Lee.
Hey,
holy smokes!
Hey, where'd that come from?
Return of the Dead. Holy smokes, man! Go ahead.
Well, you think he's a guy that he just needs to play. He's better in that. He gets into the flow of the game the more he plays. That kind of thing.
I think it's any player, any player. But the thing with Sean Lee is the more you play him, the closer you are to breaking him. Right? That's what history says about Sean Lee.
Right.
The more you play him, the closer he is to being broken. But in that, I guess the Cowboys been kind of subsequently doing load management because you've had Leighton Vander Esch, so he hadn't had to play as many snaps. So he's kind of been getting load management all year long.
Yeah.
The question, the non-question with Sean Lee is never does he know the game up top. From shoulders up, I have absolutely no doubt Sean Lee knows what he's doing, know how to diagnose it, and know where's to be.
It's the hamstring.
It's the neck down. Something from the neck down will go on us. And he left that game with was it a shoulder or arm injury at some point in time in that game? At the end of the Giants game.
Did he?
So for Sean Lee, it's like, I know he knows where to be, where to line up, what to do, how to diagnose it, how to get people in place. But at some point in time, just his body fails him. But I was excited to see Sean Lee out there last night, man, making plays, looking youthful, looking like one of the young boys, not the old man of the group. So that was a surprising thing for me to see Sean Lee step in there for Leighton Vander Esch and kind of pick up where we've known he's left off to be.
Sounds like he may have to do it this week too.
Yeah, and I hate that his body has failed him because there's nobody that works harder over there in that locker room and knows the game and loves the game and respects it. Like you talking about having potential Hall of Fame career if his body would have
held up.
Yeah, I mean it's really frustrating. Nate, bright spot for you
besides your shirt.
Hey,
well,
and that smile that you came in here
I'll
with,
tell you
and your brown eyes.
It was just really exciting to see the black cat run out and dare anybody to touch him.
That was a mean-looking cat.
Listen, that's a Jersey cat for you right there.
Look at it, man. Look at it.
That's a thick Jersey cat right there.
Yeah, he was big.
Everybody would come and sit moving back the other way like, nah, man.
I tell you what, the way that the posture, if anybody attempted to touch that cat.
Look at his tail, though. He ready.
They were either getting the business in or they were getting the paws. They were getting something because that cat was not joking around, man. Look at that. How'd he get out? I don't even know. Is that
whoa? He ran into the thing.
There's Jeremiah. Wow, look at that
Jeremiah
guy go.
said, if I just sit still, he
won't even jump on him.
But nah, man.
What were y'all doing in the studio when that was going on?
Oh, man, we just laughing. Because they showed one dude for the Giants like, wow. But the dude was doing wow for something else, but they made it connect with the cat. But I just like that they handled the adversity. And in the second half, they came out. And we got a chance to see the Cowboys, score some points, make some plays. I'm with you guys. It's a lot that we have to clean up, a lot that it's too much to put on the list, and it's too much for a coach to have to go through. So they have to pick what they think most important and try to clean that up. But I just felt we had to go in there and get that victory. We could not come out of there saying, oh, my God, not again. We went in there and got that victory. I'm happy. I mean, I was waving at people today, going down the highway. People was letting me merge into traffic with no problem.
So you weren't grumpy Nate today?
No, they wasn't grumpy humans today. I'm always happy. I'm going to find a way to be, excited about life. But, we got this victory. Well, excuse me, they got this victory. I just feel like I was a part of it, and I'm just happy. I mean, even Kurt can't get me today. Try something.
No? Are you wearing nail polish?
Who, me? No, I get my nails done every now and then.
Do you?
Can't.
I look good.
They do. They look great. Yeah. I was admiring them, but that's not polish. They're shiny.
No,
they just buffed them.
Yeah, put a little stuff on them and keep them looking nice.
It's called nail polish. Yeah, you have fingernail polish.
No, don't do that. Don't do that. I don't put on nail polish. They put something on it, but it ain't nail polish.
Yeah, you can actually get them buffed. with the same kind of.
The little buffer thing. Yeah, it makes them shine them up.
Let's see, we buff him.
You still get pedicures all the time?
I do.
How often do you get a pedicure?
Probably about every 2-3 weeks.
Really?
Me too, bro.
I tell you what, if you are a guy or a girl and have never gotten a pedicure, if you've never gotten one, we need to go.
Well, yeah, we do.
It's weird the first time you go because it's totally not set up for like men. It's totally there's wine and there's champagne and there's
some places have cheese.
Yeah, and it's like you walk in and you're if you go with the wife because it'll make you feel
go
better.
by yourself.
Go by yourself.
Yeah, listen.
Just go.
Getting your manicure and your pedicure is a relaxing moment.
It totally is.
Where I don't want to talk to you. I don't want to talk to anyone. Just explain to them what I want. I sit back. I grab the remote, put the chair back.
Oh, the chairs.
Hit the massager. Let them do what they got to do.
And if you do it, you got to go all out. You got to get the stones and the wax
You can get
and the
gel,
massage.
the wax, they got so many different things that you can do. But I'm gonna tell you something.
You got to do it, Kurt.
Then when you get used to doing it, then you miss like 3 weeks, and you get a little hangnail. They got to get off it.
Yeah.
And see, people want to talk to you. I ain't here to. Like, people got mad at me. I told the people, I said, nah, if y'all want to continue to see me, and you want to help your business, wait till I walk out and say that was Nate Newton. Don't tell these folks who I am, so I cannot relax because there goes your tip. I said, if you think your $7 or $8 tip is worse than me being bothered by these people, I say, have at it. You know, now, the first time the lady did that, she didn't get a tip. I'm like, hey, I did what you needed me to do. I talked to this lady over here, and I was disturbed.
That was the tip?
Yeah, so that's the tip.
Tip to you, ma'am.
Yeah.
Don't disturb me next time. That's your tip.
I'm serious, man, because that is not, when you go there, and women, you see a lot of women, you see a few men, but they go there, some of them just love to talk to the person that's working on them, but they in their own world.
Oh, yeah.
You know, everybody's in it. Y'all know that, the guys who do, but bro, go get.
You need to do it.
Take your music, your head banging music.
No.
Take your magazine.
Yeah.
It's weird. It's weird because I'm touching my feet. My feet are super sensitive. Like when I was a kid, I couldn't trim my toenails too short because it would bother me.
Right.
When they go to scrubbing on my feet go to just jumping. Like I almost kick them in the face, man.
It's that heel, when they get in that heel, okay.
The heel's okay. It's the
Never
other
thought
part.
this would be part of our Giants Cowboys.
Sorry. Okay.
Well, they should have got their heels and they should have got manicured.
My positive is probably the same thing as Nate. Goes along the line of Nate. You still beat a team you should have beaten, even though you started out slow.
Yeah.
You tried to shoot yourself in the foot. If you can just put it together, like this is a really, really good football team. I am encouraged. I'm encouraged.
Yes.
What else? What else stood out to you,
I also
Kurt?
liked I thought they were real balanced on offense. You know, that Zeke set up the pass well. I thought Dak wasn't at his best. He was a little off on his deep throws, especially. A lot of his stuff was underneath.
That one to Cooper where he split the defenders. And he had him in the end zone, and he overthrew him by a few feet.
Yeah.
Can I make a declaration?
Nice. Yes.
Ooh, all right.
Uh-oh, here we go.
Can I make a declaration?
Music here, Kyle.
Amari Cooper's one of I don't know if that's declaration music, but so we'll go with it. We don't talk about it enough.
His route running?
Football horny. Makes me football horny, his route running. Amari Cooper's one of the best 2 or 3 receivers, 4 receivers in the National Football League.
I'm with you.
Like, maybe it's because of his demeanor. He doesn't talk much. He doesn't have the commercials, and he doesn't have the outlandish things, or he doesn't make the crazy catches. Watch Amari Cooper work. He never looks rushed. He never looks like he's in a hurry. He never looks bothered. He never looks like he's battling with someone. Everything is so effortless. He's one of the best route runners in all of football. Your Odells, your Julios, your ABs when he's in and out of football. You name them. I'm willing to put Amari Cooper, I'm willing to say, all right, let's talk about it. He can run routes with anyone, and he has the kind of speed. I played with Felix Jones. And
it's kind of sneaky speed, isn't it?
It doesn't look like he's running fast, but the guys don't catch him.
Yeah.
He runs away from people, and not like he's like, he just looks like I'm cruising. I got a good stride going on, and you just see the gap just get wider and wider and wider and wider. Because I used to watch Felix Jones. I'm like, you're not running fast, but no one
Nobody
ever caught
him.
you.
Yeah.
And I don't know why he's not in the conversation. I'm not talking about career-wise, numbers, whatever. Currently, right now, Amari Cooper is one of the top 3-4 receivers in the entire National Football League.
Receiver stats.
As a football player. Like, that dude's nice, man.
What is it about him? He looks different than any other receiver that I've seen. When he goes to cut, he sells it a certain way. Is it his head fake? Is it his shoulders?
It's everything.
How does he? Because it looks different.
He has what you call body control.
Mm-hmm.
His body control is so superb. He doesn't look like arms aren't flailing. There is zero wasted movements. Everything that he does is precise. Everything that he does, it's compact. There isn't a lot of unnecessary movement in his route running. And if you could get more guys to do what he's doing and run it, like that is the essence of football route running. There isn't a lot of movements that's wasted. There isn't a lot of extra steps. He's not out of control. He gets to the point and gets out of that break. He does his move, and when he does it, he sells it 1, 2, 3. The sluggo, head and shoulders, eyes in, boom, outside. I'm just saying, I'm not. That's not a homer call. Mm-hmm. That's not the Cowboys pay you, Jesse, so you got to say no. I am willing to put him up. Let's put on the tape. Route running 101. Amari Cooper is one of the best receivers in the National, and I'm not talking about 7, 8, 9. I'm talking about 2, 3, 4. Period.
Who's your number one?
Still might
Amari
be
Cooper.
Still might be Julio. Still might be Julio. Michael Thomas, maybe.
Amari Cooper. I mean, this dude just out here for 5 minutes and kissed him. I love you, Amari. I'm not trying to say it's a declaration that I'm gonna sign my life over you and my firstborn, but you all it, man. That's what you just did. I mean, they're not gonna say it, but I just don't want to lie to the listener.
Mari's 8th in receiving yards. Remember, he had one game where he basically didn't have any. He 701. He is tied for 5th in touchdowns. He's tied for, let's see. He is tied for 2nd in 40-yard play, gains of at least 40 yards. He's tied for 5th in gains of at least 20 yards. So
can I make a declaration?
Impact.
Yeah.
Can I make a declaration?
Declare.
I love you guys, man. I just want to say that.
Aw. And?
I'm good.
I gotta leave early.
How early?
About 2 minutes.
Let's go to break so Nate can leave. We'll be right back on Hanging with the Boys.
Since 1865, Stetson hats are American-made with pride right here in Texas. And Stetson is proud to be on the field with America's team. Want to show your Texas and team pride too? You can. By purchasing your own Stetson, you can look just like how the flag guys do on field at every home game. Stetson hats, the official crown of all self-respecting Cowboys and your favorite football team. Get yours today in the Stadium Pro Shop or at Stetson.com.
Before your next AT&T Stadium barbecue, gear up with OtterBox, the official outfitter of tailgating. It starts with the Venture Cooler. Built tough in America, Venture keeps ice for days and days. Or stay light on your feet with Trooper Soft Coolers, perfect for packing in your signature side dishes.
Tailgating wouldn't be complete without a beverage, so pour one into the OtterBox Elevation Tumbler. It keeps your drinks frosty and toasty. Discover more about OtterBox line of tailgate essentials at OtterBox.com.
Want to use what the pros use? How about the official men's skincare brand of the Dallas Cowboys, Jack Black? Right now, you can get the Jack Black Starter, a curated collection of Cowboys locker room favorites for just $10 with free shipping. The starter includes 4 Jack Black skincare favorites, plus a full-sized intense therapy lip balm. Go to getjackblack.com/Cowboys and use the code word TEAMJB. That's getjackblack.com/Cowboys. The Jack Black Starter, $10, free shipping.
Whether you're into being a part of this or more into something like this, SeatGeek has the tickets to the events you love. It's the easiest way to find, buy, and sell tickets. Plus, with their Deal Score technology, they'll recommend the best seats in the house at the best value. So the next time you're craving this, download the SeatGeek app and let's go. SeatGeek.
Back Hangin' with the Boys.
We are back and we are Nateless. Feel naked. Join us November 9th. That is Saturday on Tostitos Championship Plaza for the Salute to Service Plaza Party. Enjoy live entertainment, military ceremonies, Dallas Cowboys alumni autographs, and more. After the event festivities, the Star will be hosting the top 2 Madden players as they face off in the EA Sports Madden NFL 20 Club Championship presented by Spire. Come check it out. It's going to be cool. There's a new Wahlburgers that opened up out here at the Star.
Oh, did you run over there?
We tried to go take the programming and social team over there to eat, and it was so packed. Like
Really?
the line was out the door.
Oh, wow.
They're having some kind of conference out here, so I think everybody went over there to eat, so we didn't get to try it out.
I know we got that scrub Nate out of here. We can really have a good show.
We can talk about football.
Let's do it. No,
Instead of doing bits the whole show.
I'm playing.
No.
Shout out to Nate. Scrub.
Nate. Scrub. An interesting stat. You guys will probably get a kick out of this. Do you know that there's an ongoing kind of debate in the locker room on who the fastest player is on the team? Have y'all heard this?
I thought it was Brown. Not?
Anthony Brown says he is. Cheeto says he is. Jordan says he is.
Tavon has to have a say in this too, right?
I don't know if it's.
Did you see Lewis on his return? Boy, Brown was catching up with him.
Was he?
Oh, yeah.
Well, here's
no, that was Awuzie. Sorry.
Yeah, okay. So I'm glad you brought that up. Here's an interesting stat. Now, this is a legit stat. So we do on social media either the day or 2 days after the game, we do a thing for Gatorade that's called Next Gen Stats. So our statistician over on the football side, he'll send us probably 7 or 8 different stats. And you know what? I should start reading these on the show every week because they're actually pretty interesting. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to go down the list, but I'm going to save the most interesting one for last. Some of these are complicated as hell, and I'm probably just going to gloss over them, like this first one. Dak Prescott's the only quarterback to outperform expectations based on completion probability in every game this season. Wait, I just want to read this to let you know how complex this is. Over the first 9 weeks of the season, he ranked second in CPOE, completion percentage over expected, completing 69.6% of passes with an expected completion percentage of 62.4% for a CPOE of plus 7.2, or about 20 completions more than expected. He also ranks first in pass success rate and third in yards per attempt.
The nerds have taken over football.
That's okay. So I'm going to read the ones that aren't as complicated.
God.
Here's the more simple ones. Ezekiel Elliott finishes the week ranked third in rushing yards and third in rushing success rate, all while facing the second highest loaded box percentage of the week. That's pretty interesting, right? Mm-hmm. Amari Cooper was the Cowboys' fastest ball carrier of the week, hitting a top speed of 20.29 miles per hour on his 45-yard touchdown reception from Dak. Byron Jones, this is very interesting, covered a distance of 1,566 yards throughout the game, more than any other player. The Cowboys' defense generated 5 sacks, tied for first for the week across all teams, 14 pressures, tied for fourth across all teams, and forced 2 fumbles and had 1 interception. Jalen Smith and Sean Lee combined for 24 tackles, more than any other linebacking duo in the league this week. And here's the most interesting fun fact. On Jordan Lewis's scoop and score at the end of the game, and this is a legit stat. On Jordan Lewis's scoop and score at the end of the game, Chidobe Awuzie reached a max speed of 21.46 miles per hour when running down the field to celebrate with Cheeto in the end zone. This was the fastest speed of the game by any player. So get you a hype man like Cheeto that actually ran faster than he ran the entire game to go celebrate with Jordan. I thought that was the funniest thing I've read in a while. That's pretty awesome. And if you go watch our Instagram story from last night when they're celebrating, I think it was when Xavier had his pick or whatever, and he jumps up and he like side bumps somebody. Cheeto comes in to high five him and completely misses him and jumps completely through the frame and doesn't touch anybody. And then he said he hit the ground and fell and had to roll to keep from just like completely busting his ass.
So nobody does a vertical jump on those things either in Next Gen Stats?
Oh, that would be a good one.
Surprised.
That would be a really good one.
On the celebration of
So
Xavier Woods, he had a vertical jump of 32 inches.
Are you
awesome.
feeling good about Xavier Woods now? You think he's the guy they thought he would be? He's grown into that.
I never had a problem with Xavier Woods.
Well, I think there were some questions in past years about what would he be.
It's funny how the game changed in a good way on the defensive side of the ball when a set player went out of the game. No one, never want anyone to get hurt, but I'm just saying.
Right.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying. When Jeff Heath went out, whoa, turnovers. Wow. No big plays. I could be wrong. I'm just saying how the game played out. One guy goes out, and all of a sudden the back end of that defense begins to play a lot better.
Will we ever know? Because can you ever can you see them making a change or at least limiting snaps at that position
next year?
Yeah. Not this year, though.
No. I mean, no.
I was a little surprised Jordan Lewis saw so much time. I mean, maybe Brown was still coming off his injury, but
no, they said he was fully.
He was a healthy for the game, right? I was going to ask you guys that.
Lewis played 71% of the snaps.
Is this kind
Brown
of
played 7?
A turning point to where they're like, okay, we've seen too much from this guy to keep saying no.
Yeah,
we said it. I said it to you guys last week. If we see it, and I deem Rod and I deem Chris way smarter than me, than you, at what they do. If we see it,
right,
and we've been calling for it, and everyone else has been calling for it, they have to see it. And I guess they got to a point where they're just like, okay, enough's enough. Let's give this guy a shot. And if it doesn't work out, we can always go back to what we originally went with. But every time, it seems like there are certain people in whatever sport that you play in that the ball finds them in a positive way. It's like all the time.
You always have that friend that whether it's pickup ball or whatever, they're always around the ball making. And you've always got the friend that if somebody's on the ground hurt, it's like, oh, that's just Corey. That's just so and so. We don't even have to look. We know it's that guy.
It's an ankle. It's every week. He'll be okay.
Yeah, he's fine.
He's fine.
Yeah.
But with Jordan, the ball finds him in a positive way whenever he's on the field. He's always in the mix of making a positive play for the defense. That's not coincidence when it happens over and over and over and over and over again. Like, the dude has something. And I guess they finally was like, okay, we get it. Yeah. Let's go ahead and give him a shot.
You know who else has got something and he's starting to show that something a little more and more? He's still really raw and has to figure it out because he had some major miscues in this game. But Tony Pollard, man, he's got something. Yeah. And if he can just get that experience and get that trust and start – leave the mental stuff out of it. That dude, I tell you what, if you got him and Zeke in that backfield, you can do some stuff with those guys.
That's always an interesting thing to me because every time I think about giving Tony Pollard the ball, I think about not giving Zeke the ball.
Yeah,
that's a great point.
Right? So it's like
it's going to be a hard balance.
Isn't that a
great problem to have though?
It's a great problem to have, but it's always it's a terrible problem to have because you go, man, if that was Zeke, he would have gotten.
Yeah,
you always
he'd have caught that ball.
You always think, I don't think Zeke has the shiftiness and burst that Tony Pollard had. That could be youth or just, physically just gifted in that area. But every time I think about, man, the more plays they drew up for Tony Pollard, the more plays that Zeke Elliott doesn't get the football. And that sometimes can be a delicate balance
maybe that helps in the long run, kind of keep him a little bit of wear and tear off him.
A little load management.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Are you seeing them do stuff? Wait, I want to ask a question before I forget that. I'm going to go back to that. What was going on? I couldn't tell on the field with all the damn fights. What was happening? Like, it was this, Hernandez was in almost all of them, right?
All of them.
Was he starting stuff? What was going on?
Yeah, he started the first penalty on Xavier Woods.
Yeah.
He came in and kind of hit him.
He was the first one in, yeah.
But the ref only caught Xavier coming back at him. He was instigating all of them, but he was always the first one to instigate, and the refs caught the second guy.
Which is the way it always works, right? You get hit, don't hit back.
Frustration. He was getting his butt whipped all night by the defensive line. I mean, I don't know what else it would have been.
Yeah. Are you seeing – this is a question I was going to ask before. Are you seeing them do different things on the offense? Are they doing different things, or are they doing the same things? It's just starting to work now as far as motion and maybe – packages and things like that?
No, a lot of times, like as far as emotions and the packages, they've done the kind of the same thing. One of the things that I saw last night, and even they picked it up on TV, was what I've been screaming about for the last 4 weeks, is you see Dak coming up to the line of scrimmage, changing plays.
Yeah, it seemed like he did that quite a bit last night.
Yeah, it was like, no, it's not a good play to come in. And then Jason Garrett was on the Cowboys flag station today, and they asked him about it, and he was just saying like, well, that's in play for him. We want to see him do that, and not necessarily just going and changing the play, but his job is to put us in the best position possible. Despite what we may call as a quarterback, his job is to put us in the best position to succeed. And I think a lot of that comes on Dak is putting the team in the proper position to succeed. And you saw a lot of that last night where he was just coming up, changing plays, calling stuff. You see him, going across his chest, calling plays, hand signaling guys, and getting guys in the right places. So for me, that part was different. You just saw him doing that a lot more. I just hope this continues.
Anything you want to add before we get out of here, Kurt? Anything you want to talk about?
Just, I thought we didn't mention, I don't know if we mentioned it before, but I thought the offensive line was really strong.
Yeah, I was going to ask you what you guys thought about that. That's one of the on the field, that's one of the hardest things to watch and evaluate because there's so much going on and it's all jumbled and you're at a weird angle of seeing how the D-line and the offensive line block or
I think the
pressure.
Giants didn't have a terrible defensive line. They just picked up that Williams guy. So I thought Zeke ran for his most yards this year. Dak wasn't sacked. I mean, it was a good effort by that group, I thought.
I was pleased. Yeah. Anytime your quarterback doesn't get sacked and your running back goes for over 100 yards, every room has those boards. Linemen, receivers, they have these boards and they have these goals that they want to reach every single week. And for linemen, it's, of course, no penalties. Well, that wasn't achieved. But giving up no sacks. They give up no sacks. Quarterback hits, they give up a couple of those. Did your running back run for 100 yards? Yes. Did your quarterback throw for 200 yards? Yes. Did you guys throw for a touchdown and run for Yes. So all of that stuff in those boxes, they got checked off because of their performance. So to me, overall, and they'll tell you can't judge a lineman off one play. You got to judge them off 65 or whatever amount of time that they play. Overall, last night, they were solid. There was a solid group. They had running lanes for Dak, passing time for running lanes for Zeke, passing time for Dak, and that's all you can ask for from an offensive line.
Having a guy like Frederick in there make it easier in any way for Dak to change the play?
Yes.
Yeah.
How? Because when he changes it, you only got a certain amount of time, right? When guys break the huddle, it's probably, let's just say, give or take 16, 17, 18 seconds left to go on the clock. So when I'm coming up there changing, I need a guy who, one, knows what I'm talking about. Two, knows exactly the right call to get everyone up. Like he is the quarterback of the offensive line. So when he hears the call, he then now echoes it out to everyone else and get everybody lined up and where they're supposed to go. So to have someone who's experienced enough to just like, he ain't guessing. He's like, oh, check. Hey, boom, we're sliding here. We're doing this. We're doing that. That is huge to an offensive line.
When Dak checks out of a play, he's organizing the running back and the receivers and letting them know. The center's letting the offensive line know, hey, here's how the scheme changed. That's what we're doing.
Does he do that through coded words or is there signals or hand signals? I mean, surely he's not just saying, let's slide this way.
No, you got some. Usually the R words or words that have R in it are for the right, or L words or words that have L in it will be for the left. So if you're sliding one way or another, you use those type of words. But also changing the blocking scheme, right? When Dak rechecks the mic, the linemen's change. If Dak goes 55 to Mike, and then he goes check, 47's the Mike, well, guess what? These guys, their blocking scheme now changes. Well, who expressed that to all offensive linemen? Travis Frederick. He's now saying, okay, we're going here, we're doing this, we're doing that, so that everyone is lined up in proper places. If it's a pass play, it's a run play, now we know who to block, who to go to, and guys know their assignment so that this play can be successful.
It's as simple as just saying, Zach, you got this guy, and surely it's more deceptive, I guess.
Like if he changed the play, Zach, when Dak goes check, 55 to Mike, he'll go 55 to Mike, then Zach will go, all right, cool, 47's down. 47 down. Now he knows we're counting him down. We're counting now, 47 is now in our counting numbers as far as the 5. 4 here, that's 5. Most likely, I got 5.
Okay.
Now the back knows, hey, here's a new Mike. You have this guy, we have this guy. Now everyone knows, okay, on this blocking scheme, if he has a Mike, then the tackle and guard will go do this or that, and the other tackle guard will go do this or that. So it's all about now getting the right people in place to know where the back who he has to pick up and block, who the center has, who the guard has, so on and so forth.
I always wanted to do a story on the the world in there, the communication on the linemen, and how it's not just big guys hitting each other. There's so much thought that goes into it. I don't know if they'd ever talk about it, but it's a fascinating how they just set all that up.
If you just like get a camera on the offensive line, it's like a line dance. To see how if someone pulling, how someone has to replace him, it's really interesting to watch
how
them
they
work.
trade off blocks.
Oh, it's really
blocks.
It's they don't get enough credit for their athletic ability. They don't get enough credit for what they have to do in the trenches with another 300-pound dude rumbling down on them. But to have the synchronized steps, think about I got another dude whose foot is literally sitting right here, and we're stepping at the same time, setting. Or passing a guy off when they do a tackle. When a dude switches, boom, I push him in, I catch a guy. It's really an interesting thing to watch those guys work. Those big dancing pandas in there.
Dancing pandas.
I like it.
I'm going to start. Kurt, do you want to be the first signature on my I think our pleas and our cries for Jordan Lewis to get more playing time is starting to pay off. I think someone on that side of the building is listening to the show.
Probably.
I'm going to start a petition to get Blake Jarwin more playing time.
All right.
Whether that's figuring out new formations to get an extra tight end or not, because I don't think he's going to push anybody that's ahead of him out of the way for playing time. So, but I want to get him on the field more often. Do you want to sign it? Be the first person to sign it?
Of course, yeah.
We talked to
I'm
him.
on board.
He showed up to the plane, and he's been growing these golden brownish locks since the off season, and he came in and he had it was all cut off, and we were like, "What happened?" And he goes, because he talked about he was going to let it grow the whole year. And he goes, I went in and asked her to give me a trim, and this is what happened. She cut all his hair off.
No.
And I said, well, you realize if you go for 120 and 2 touchdowns, you got to keep it like this. He's like, oh, yeah, if that happens, yeah. So he tried. He was 1 for 1 for 42 and a touchdown. So if they'd have got it to him more, who knows what would have happened. Yeah. The Cowboy killer, man.
Giant killer.
That's what I meant. Yeah. I was thinking of Golden Tate catching that pass over Byron Jones, and the same thing happened whenever that happened to Brandon Carr with OBJ. Beautiful catch, but they still lost the game.
Hold that L, bro.
Yes, sir. Well, Kurt, thanks for being here, man. Jesse, we'll take calls tomorrow since we got kind of a weird schedule this week.
Short week.
Call us tomorrow. Kyle, thanks for manning the ship. Caden, thanks for staying away.
Caden,
Nate,
what's up?
Thanks for joining us a little bit and earning your money for walking through the door. We'll be back tomorrow, normal time, 1 o'clock, right?
Brothers, we got a seat for you right here.
Hanging with the boys.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about this,